As his eyes opened, what greeted the great void dragon was not the familiar vast emptiness of space with celestial bodies shimmering. It was total darkness. Around him, the world was shrouded in inky darkness, while his soul was floating aimlessly within it. How long has he been floating? He had no idea. Is this the afterlife? He tried to mutter, but he didn't have a mouth to talk with. All he can do is simply reason. All of a sudden, something seems to click in his soul and a thought floated in his mind. Is this peace? Is this what it felt like? He thought to himself. No more struggle, no more fighting, just being. All my whole life, right from the day I hatched from an egg, I've been fighting. If I'm not fighting for food, I'll be fighting for territory. So finally, does this mean I can let go of all those struggles and embrace this silent peace? He reasoned. But to think that I, the great void dragon, would be defeated by a group of fragile-looking creatures. What an irony. Collecting his thoughts, the great void dragon decided to immerse himself in the feeling of floating without his control. Though he couldn't feel his body nor could he see anything, he decided to focus on wherever his destination might be. Whether he was going to make heaven, or if he was going straight to hell, no need to overthink, all would be made clear in the end. Time seems to have lost all meaning to the great void dragon by now, and his patience was starting to run low. Is this how death felt? He thought. When would this darkness disappear? He wondered. I've been floating in one particular direction for a time that seemed to be longer than my whole lifespan when I was He was cut off before he could finish his sentence by a formless whirlpool that suddenly formed around him, which increased his floating speed by several folds. A while later, he spotted a ray of golden light in the horizon. Strangely, even when he didn't have eyes, it was almost like he can feel this ray of light. It wasn't anything strange to the great void dragon because he once considered himself to be the strongest creature under the universe. Trivial things like this doesn't matter, except this light was like a spark of joy and hope to him. At last, it looks I'm not going to be trapped here forever, he thought as he was getting closer and closer to the light source. A while later, he came face to face with the light source. It was totally different from he had expected. I thought I'd appear in front of a glowing road leading to heaven or hell. What's this? He wondered in bewilderment. In front of him was a huge glowing door shrouded in what appeared to be a liquid light. At first glance, it looks like a luminous sea, but if you look closer, it looks like a sea of light particles floating up and down. What's this? That was the only thought that escaped the great void dragon before he was swallowed by the glowing door. The moment the glowing door swallowed him, it feels like he was plummeting from the sky to the ground. What bothered him the most was that he has no control over his rapid descent. What's going on? Is this part of the journey to the afterlife? The great void dragon blasted his mind with series of questions that no one can hear nor answer him. A while later, the golden light receded, giving way to a soft white light. The changes in his surroundings seems to also affect his descent as he started slowing down. Before he could let out a sigh of relief, even when he don't have the mouth and lungs to, he started falling once again, this time even more faster than before. Never in his life have the great void dragon imagined that he would be toyed with like this. Everything was so strange to him that before he could understand one situation, it has changed to another. As he was plummeting down, the white light also started dismissing, and he can feel all the changes below him. a pool of absolute darkness started taking shape. At first glance, it appears to be a tiny pond, but as he fell closer to it, it turns out to be a huge, majestic ocean of darkness that seems to have the power to affect memories, bringing in past and new memories, blending them into one. Before he fell inside, the great void dragon saw memories of himself he had long since forget. He saw the memories of his parents that has long since been slain, memories of his siblings who seems to have disappeared from the universe. As he was swallowed whole, the only thought that echoed on his mind was, "All those years, and I was too busy to see the gold right here."